walk and pick it up for himself. I believe Ember Spirit should have threatened that rune so that Ponyo on that Jakiro would have been forced to pick it up, but Ken happy enough to give the rune away to the Storm Spirit. It is just an illusion rune, so it's not as if Chuan will be able to make a lot happen with that rune. Illusion. Let's see. 7-minute mark approaching, and Ivory are going to be making a move towards this Wisdom rune, but Essence, they're not going to let this play go uncontested. They are here prepped. They really do want their ultimates online. Remember, the Shadow Shaman level 6 is when Essence can just go for objectives, and it seems like they do want some objectives, but it's not the tower, it's actually Aizen on that Beastmaster. He's going to melt. The Beastmaster carry down now, and with this Ponyo being positioned in this lane means that they can dish out tons of damage on towards this bot side tower. Are Ivory going to respond to this, or are they going to be giving this away for scot-free? Grims though was found out by Aya to shackle the ice spot to hold him in place, and the Metamorphosis just does too much damage early on. He's going to end up losing his life, and now on towards the tower they go. Of course, the Metamorphosis is going to be wearing out right now, and with the Beastmaster reviving and TPing back into this lane, perhaps Essence are going to be forced to get back.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
FBZ, no Metamorphosis for about 100 seconds over here, but so far this is reminiscent of the previous game where Essence were able to just get so many early kills. Of course they botched it later on, but is this going to be a repeat? They do have the better draw for this one, in my opinion. Bot side, Beastmaster needs to be so careful right now. Grim's TP towards that mid lane, which leaves this Beastmaster all alone. He has fallen back, and the cost of this is going to be a tier 1 tower 8 minutes in. It's a lot later than what Essence got in the previous game, I will say that. Team Essence 9 minutes in were able to take down 2 tier 1 towers. This time around only able to take one out, but of course you do have a Swen that's merrily farming, constantly free farming in fact, sitting at the top of that network chart. Oh, and will be able to clear up the stacks that Beastmaster built up for himself. That one's going to sting, and this was 3 ancient stacks that Omq has just taken. Uncontested. And the XP experience is going to go solo in his favor. They see the Beastmaster. Essence, they're in trouble right now. They might lose their carry for the second time over here. The roar being committed by Aizen, but it's not going to matter. He's going to get swiped down by that Terrorblade, and meanwhile towards that top lane, in fact, is the Swen who's in trouble. They're going to lose his life, but the Storm Spirit is here to play Chuan. Can he make anything happen with this Ember Spirit, the Ice Spot to hold him down? Can he find the Remnant out? One Remnant, the Storm Spirit zap forward. Chuan can't see him. Rapido will find that kill, and Ponyo will be the second one to fall to that Dark Seer. Essence bungling it, not finding those zaps. Oh man, that was, I will say, Swen being caught out over there was the beginnings of the disaster that eventually led to 2 more heroes falling and so much pressure being built on this topside tier 1 tower. Ivory are probably looking towards taking this down and evening the objective chart. This time around doing a great job at consolidating the loss of their carry. One tower each to fall from both of these sides. Storm Spirit is smoked up with his Jakiro. What can they find with this? As Unfortunately, Shadow Shaman wasn't the one who was smoked up. Storm Spirit zap forward on towards Grimm's, being held down by the Ice Rod. It looks like the Ancient Apparition will fall. No Ice Blast available, but Tron's going to lose his life just for his support over here. And it seems like his team might pay for it as well with Ponyo falling. Ken, no more mana for the chase, but yet once again, Essence not finding the right rotations, just jumping too far behind that tier 1 tower. It's not the place where you want to be.
Chosen to strengthen their structures.
As this time around, it's Ivory who are going to go for the smoke. Storm Spirit, Tron is going to TP back into the lane, and so will the Jakiro. But it seems like Essence, or rather Ivory, they want to be making an initiation on towards the Storm Spirit. Yet once again, the smoke screen, the one requirement from Drick, came true for them. They were able to plant it down on towards that Storm Spirit, silence him down so that he can't zap out and take him down with those steering chains. Ken now on a dominating streak, continuing the mayhem.
It looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower.
The only solace for Team Essence right now is the fact that their Terrorblade is free farming right now, sitting at about
Middle tower is under
6,400 in terms of net worth. But it looks like he has the pipe. It should be coming on his courier.
middle tower is gone. Just gone.
Probably, yeah. So he has the pipe. So I wonder if they're going to be going for some kind of contest or for some team fights.
Rather violent.
Q. There is a Ricky here. Unfortunately, no sentry wards placed down. And look at this observer ward coming in from Ivory. They know exactly where the Swen is farming, so they can go for a potential rotation. Drick is probably going to chase him. Unfortunately, there's no clear way towards getting to the Swen because it requires for you to go through Ponyo as well. But it seems like with the Ice Blast and Ken coming in, the Macro Pyre to momentarily buy the Swen some amount of time, but it won't be enough. Ken will fall. The Shackle though from Ayad and the Macro Pyre, perhaps they might be able to take Ken down with a sleight of fist. It wasn't enough to save his life. Definitely was enough to get the kill, but perhaps Ken should have tried and found a way out, but I don't think that there was one. So he's going to take what he can get. 2 kills certainly though works in Ivory's favor. To Ricky on towards the Wisdom Rune. He really wanted to snipe that one, but it just won't be possible. The pings are coming out. Grimm's needs to be a bit careful. I wonder though what he's doing. In fact, he's waiting for Ken, who was immediately shackled up, but there's no follow-up. Shackle on towards the steering cheese on towards the Jakiro. It looks like Ponyo will be the one to fall. FBZ is here with that pipe, but with his supports falling incredibly low and in fact losing their lives, the Terrorblade is forced to back away. But the Ice Blast, it's incoming. The vacuum, the whole FBZ in place. The Sunder was perfect. This time around the smoke screen wasn't enough, and the Terrorblade FBZ will be able to find that magnificent TP out. Ivory this time around. Drick coming in a bit too slow with that smoke screen, but the follow-up though, the initiation from them was perfect. And let's not forget, they did find 2 kills on those supports, so it's not as if Ivory didn't get ahead in terms of the kill there. Zap forward on towards the Ricky. This time Tron won't be getting chained down, but Drake was able to find a return on towards that Shadow Shaman. Meanwhile, the Swen is going to come in towards that backline, will be able to clean that Ancient Apparition up, as the rest of Ivory are going to fall back. Another pause coming out, but the question is, the big question is, what is going to be Essence's way back into this game? I mean, their Storm Spirit is clearly struggling, right? Their Storm Spirit just has a Kaya up. He's sitting at, in terms of net worth, he's the lowest, least valuable in terms of core net worth here in this game, and I don't see that changing unless he goes for a straight up BKB. For the rest of their team, though, Swen is farming nicely, has that Echo Saber and then Mask of Madness up, so he should be dishing out on a lot of damage. And meanwhile, the Terrorblade has that pipe, is probably going to look towards transitioning into some kind of damage dealer just in case, you know, you want that insurance just in case your Swen isn't able to do all that much in those team fights. Not to mention, but over on the other side, though, again, Ken it has a Mage Slayer up and ready. It's reminiscent of the previous game where Chuan got that early Mage Slayer, but this time around, this Ember Spirit does seem to be having a bit more success in that mid game. Of course, this was near around a time where the Ember Spirit from the previous game also started falling off, so we can't really be certain, because it's always going to come down towards the supports over on Team Essence, right? You have an Ice Path and you have the Shackle and Hex, two sure shot ways to disable or at least to lock down this Ember Spirit, right? So what exactly are the supports from Team Essence going to be able to do in terms of locking heroes down so that the Swen and Terrorblade can dish out damage? That's going to be something that only time can tell. But they have their work cut out for them, because if you take a look towards Ivory, you know, you have a Rikimaru who's going to be going for that Diffusal Blade, should be getting it in a few minutes, right? Really only needs the Robe of the Magi, and once he has that, he can essentially solo the supports over on Team Essence. Rapido has an entire pipe readied up. Meanwhile, if you take a look towards that Beastmaster, he does have that Scepter, so does have that nice amplification to his damage output and even to his farming speed, but it's not exactly too great. Ken, Searing Chains on towards that Storm Spray, the Ice Blast, Smoke Screen, everything on towards Schwan, and he doesn't even have a chance. Of course, the Shackle will find the return on towards Drake, but the damage was done. You just lost your mid laner, and Ivory are going to be more than happy with that exchange. Did give the Ricky up 10 out of 10 times if they achieve the same outcome. Rapido. Towards that top side, he's being pinged out by his team to try and come towards this mid lane to make something happen. The question is there going to be any attempt to on towards this Swen? Because he seems to be free farming for now. His item is coming in his courier. I wonder what that's going to be. It's going to be, oh wow, this is the Blink Dagger, and with this Blink Dagger, Team Essence, they're looking ready, they're looking prepared, they want to be going in. Perhaps even leave the Storm Spirit to continue farming up for his BKB. That is going to be his next item.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But it doesn't seem like Team Essence are going to be able to find much. Perhaps since they have come all this way, they should be looking towards taking down this tier 2 tower, but it's inside of the Roche pit that the action is going to be happening. Meanwhile, Ken's on a mission. He wants to deter Essence from that Roche pit, keep them as far away as possible, but he just got hexed up in between of the Macropyre, shackled down, and the Soul Spirit, the Vortex, the Remnant, everything on towards Ken, but it's just not enough. He finds the Remnant out. The Rikimaru Drick did end up losing his life. Meanwhile, the Roshan has just been cleared up from Team Ivory. And Ryzen, he's going to blink in on towards the Swen, a roar to go, the vacuum to bring Essence in place, but there's just not enough follow-up. Omq was able to turn it around on towards the Beastmaster, trying to find his way out, but Ken's not going to allow it. Will come in, find the return over there. The Beastmaster has fallen terribly, taking so much damage. Ponyo over on the side, losing his life over here. As both teams disengage, but it's a costly one for Team Essence over here, losing out on their Swen and losing out on their Storm Spirit. The jump in from Aizen was a bold one, but it ended up working out.
It looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower.
Oh man, to be honest, I really thought that the blink in from the Swen would be able to do a lot more damage, but it just goes to show, you know, the amount of disables and just the smoke screen and the vacuum. Those two things are just too good when you don't have a BKB, or just too difficult to fight against when you don't have a BKB. So for Team Essence, you desperately need those two items to come online if you want to have a shot at taking these team fights the way that you want to, the way that they've been initiating, right? Their intent is all there. It's filled with bloodlust, but their execution simply requires resources that they currently do not possess. As Ivory recognize this gap in Essence right now, and they want to be making a play inside now. Of course, unfortunately, because he went for that sentry deny, he will be losing his life over here. Shackle shot to buy him some amount of time. I will say this is making a lot of space for his team, because over on the other side, they are preparing to go for this Tormentor and perhaps even make a move on towards Ken. Inside of the smoke right now. He is pinging Chuan out. Does he really want to be going for this? The Ice Blast is not going to be hitting that Storm Spirit, and the Zap out, but the Swen is here to play as well, and Ken unfortunately does not have the remnants, does have the jukes though. Was able to make his way out. Unfortunately, it seems like Ivory were extremely hesitant at fully committing towards that Swen, because they were a bit apprehensive about what kind of follow-up and support was behind that Ember Spirit. They didn't have the vision to be able to spot anyone out. Shadow Shaman doesn't exactly have any kind of blink dagger. Rikimaru, Drick, he walked right up towards that high ground and immediately got shackled down and bursted. Rikimaru to fall, now a 4v5, a Sword Spirit. Chuan's going to zap forward and immediately go back. Meanwhile, Darkseer is coming in with a two-man vacuum, the roar, the Ice Blast, everything from Ivory, and Essence are going to melt over here. Omq, no BKB for the Swen means that it's a folly attempt at a team fight as Ivory roll over Team Essence. And perhaps find a fourth kill over here, right at the cusp of that tier 2 tower. Ken to get yet another kill and another dominating streak, and even a Shrine of Wisdom. Nothing going Essence's way. This was damn, this was I'm not too sure what Ivory or rather I'm not too sure what the game plan for Essence is, because quite clearly they need their BKBs. And Chuan, I thought after the Kaya he would be going for a BKB, but in fact he ended up investing in the Sanj and Kaya. And now he's going for the BKB. And Essence have kind of boxed themselves into a position where they just simply can't fight because of these itemization, the way that they've itemized. Everyone on their side needs a BKB, but none of them has it. None of them are close to it. At least not in time. I mean, you're going to have your BKB, but by the time you do, you're going to have lost on a lot of your towers. At least one tier 1 tower, or rather one tier 2 tower. Another smoke from Ivory.
Radiant's top tower has been attacked.
It looks like they want to be going in. Aizen to lead the fray over here. Does have that blink dagger on that Beastmaster. A full BKB readied up. It's a 9-second one. And they're going to make their way
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
near the Shrine of Wisdom. Aizen? His smoke has broken, so he sees the Jakiro. Is he going to go in blink and the roar? Meanwhile, towards that side, Ice Blast on towards the FBZ, but there's just not going to be a follow-up for the Terrorblade. So Ivory are going to be happy with just one kill. Meanwhile, you do have the Swen who did cut the wave, but he didn't find the big wave cut, which is on towards that mid side. So Ivory are going to continue to move forward, march forward on towards that tier 2 tower mid side,
It looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower.
are going to be able to take it down.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Rapido. Full Guardian Greaves as well as a Pipe of Insight readied up by him. A lot of the damage coming out from the Storm Spirit is magical in nature, right? Even the Overlord plus the Remnants are all magical damage, not to mention the Zap is magical damage too. So the Pipe really comes in handy against that Storm. Meanwhile, it's a bit difficult to mitigate the amount of magical damage coming out from Team Ivory, because sure, you do have the pipe coming from this Terrorblade, but the problem is it's the Ice Blast. It's the prevention of any kind of healing for your team for that duration that really, really sets the tone for the team fight for Team Ivory. The smoke screens were phenomenal in the early game, and now it's the Ice Blast and Ken, and not to mention even Aizen who's come online, that does so much. Both teams are positioned here, but neither team looking for a clash right now. Chuan, oh man, sitting at just about 3 galvanized charges is not the position where you want to be.
Middle tower.
If you're the Storm Spirit, you want to snowball, you want to get some kills, but still a full 1300 gold away from his BKB. If you take a look towards the Swen, he's gotten his BKB now, and the Terrorblade almost nearly has his own BKB. But that's the thing. This is what I was saying. By the time you get all your BKBs up and you're ready to fight,
Tower is under attack.
Ivory are going to have taken, I will at least have taken down one tier 2 tower, and it seems like they've done a lot of damage on towards the second tier 2 tower. A full 8,000 net worth lead, and it's come at a position where once you get those BKBs online on Team Essence, you have to take a team fight and you have to make it work. You cannot lose a team fight when you build up BKBs. Remember, the BKB itself doesn't exactly boost you in terms of the value it provides outside of that cooldown, right? It gives you what, 10 strength and 20 damage, near 20 damage, which is just simply not enough when it's on cooldown for it to have any value as an item. So if you're expending if 3 of your players are going for that BKB, that's near 12 or 13,000 gold. And when that 13,000 gold in terms of value is on cooldown, you're really far behind. So you have to make those cooldowns work. You have to make those BKB durations work. Top lane through the gate. The Shaman has spotted them out, but it seems like Essence are going to continue to dodge at least up until they can get those items online. In terms of objectives, we've seen Essence struggle, so they need to take more than one convincing fight. Storm Spirit BKB is going to fly out now, and with Omq positioned here, readied with his own BKB, a haste rune on the Storm Spirit too, it seems like this time around they should be able to fight. Very nicely played by the Shadow Shaman to clean up the opposing side's Shrine of Wisdom.
Death's bounty.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Rosh Roar. Oh, the hex up on towards that mid side Chuan though. They've been able to activate their BKB, but now is the time to dish out on that damage, and they're currently struggling to do so. The Macro Pyre dividing the fight completely. Ponyo to fall over here. Can the zap forward? The Sunder is going to come out, but Aonkyo has just lost his life. The Swen, the main damage healer, is down now. FBZ is also going to fall. Team Essence, they're struggling. They're looking like they're down. 4 heroes to fall. FBZ is going to be the last casualty as Ivory don't lose a single hero and come up with a full team wipe. Oh man, that was what? That was the moment that Essence were playing for. That was what they wanted this entire game. Get your BKBs up and fight. But they just couldn't find the lockdown. They just couldn't find or latch on towards anyone.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Whoa, what'd I miss?
And it cost them dearly. It swung the net worth in about 10 to 11, like 7 to 8,000 in favor of Ivory. And with the Aegis going Ivory's way as well, with Essence not having the ability to take down or push any of these towers because they're now reliant on their next set of items. They now know that they don't have the lockdown. They need more damage, more lockdown, more of everything really. And that's such a difficult ask to have of a team.
I'm over here.
Mid side 27 and 13 right now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
As it's on towards the high ground that Ivory are going to go.
Looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower.
Ember Spirit, one of the better heroes at the high ground siege because you can always just dish out those Sleight of Fists and the Searing Chains.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Searing Chains on towards FBC. The road to come on as well. Aizen, he's going to fully commit on towards this one. Chuan just forces Zap in and Zap out. Forced to see his Terrorblade fall over here. No pipe for Team Essence means that they don't have the sustain against the magical damage. There's an Ice Blast ready by the Ancient Apparition to be thrown out at any time, and this means the threat of Team Ivory is just going to be too much.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
You're going to lose the first lane of Rax,
I'm afraid Dire no longer has a middle barracks.
and they're just going to casually make their way outside. This Beastmaster has a full 3 minutes left on that Aegis, a full Shiva's Guard up. Sure, you have 50 seconds on that BKB, but it might not even deter Ivory right now. An Arcane Rune readied up, or rather ready to be popped by Ken. And that cooldown reduction plus that mana cost reduction coming in from that Arcane Rune. You know, on a side note guys, I've always wondered how in the late game scenarios you have these runes which are quite clearly super overpowered, right? Because an Arcane Rune at 10 minutes in, it's a good enough boost, but an Arcane Rune at 30 minutes in is potentially game changing. Of course, it's not as good as a double damage rune in this scenario, but still. Ivory taking the last tier 2 tower of Team Essence, and now they're going to make their way towards that high ground. Ayad is here, has a Force Staff and an Ether Lens, but it seems like Aizen, the blink forward, it didn't catch, or they didn't find the objective that he really wanted. Meanwhile, a vacuum for on towards that backline is going to melt Team Essence. They've lost both of their supports right now as FBZ is struggling. Team Ivory, they're pushing well past the racks to be able to take some of these heroes down, at least force out the BKBs like FBZ just used. And it seems like Aizen's not done. He wants to be going back in, but the Swen managed to pop his BKB just in time. Aizen is losing his life, but that was the Aegis. Essence, they committed everything to try and take Aizen down. They did find that, but it ended up costing them this game. Game number 2 also goes in favor of Team Ivory. The best of 3 series, the first series for today, is going to be 2-0 in favor of Team Ivory. Very well played by them. In game number 1, they struggled a lot. They managed to make a comeback, but in game number 2, throughout, they had the right idea. The smoke screens coming in from the Ricky were absolutely perfect. Not to mention the Ice Plus follow-ups plus Ken playing like an absolute beast on that Ember Spirit. Of course, guys, that was just the first game for today. We're going to be coming out with game number 2 in just a bit, right after a short break.
down so many times, trying to keep my head high while everybody's dancing. 'Cause I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. Since you took hold of my broken heart, just like a miracle. You're the angel, the one I've been waiting for. You're the angel, the one that pulled me out of the dark. You're the angel. You're the angel. Letting go of the past, I can never understand. So many questions, why? Well, everybody's dancing. 'Cause I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. Since you took hold of my broken heart, just like a miracle. You're the angel, the one I've been waiting for, waiting for. You're the angel, the one that pulled me out of the dark. Oh, oh, I've been waiting for, waiting for. Oh, oh, the one that pulled me out of the dark. You're the angel. You're the angel.
And I lost myself again. You hit just like a drug. This time I won't let you in. You're playing with fire. No, I didn't numb the pain, but this time I won't collide like I did yesterday. Yesterday, you broke my heart once again. I won't buy the dust in return. I can't give in. I can't give in. I won't give in this time. You broke my heart once again. Well, you're bad, but you're bad for me. I can't give in. I can't give in. I've already run with the wolves. Far from the light of the day. I can't go back to you. I'm stronger than that. Been to the dark side. I don't know. So if you wanna shoot far away, I won't go back to you. I'm stronger. I'm stronger. I'm stronger today. I'm stronger today. Tú tienes la pócima para enloquecerme, pero voy a draw the line. Que yo ya sé que es de ti. I got to stay away, got to stay away. Sé que como un trofeo quieres tenerme, pero I don't need no one. Que yo ya sé que es de ti. I got to stay away, got to stay away. No, 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 baby, no, 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 no setbacks. No, 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 baby, no, 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 this time. You broke my heart once again. I won't buy the dust in return. I can't give in. I can't give in. I won't give in this time. You broke my heart once again. Well, you're bad, but you're bad for me. I can't give in. I can't give in. I've already run with the wolves.
never thought I'd feel like this. Yeah. I never thought I'd feel like this. Ooh, never thought I could. I never thought I'd be on my shit, be on my. I'm spending my time in love like I should. No more struggling for more good. Yeah. I never thought I'd feel like this. Feel like this. Feel like I never thought I'd feel like this. Feel like this. Feel like I never thought I'd feel like this. I never thought I'd feel like this. Ooh, never thought I could. I never thought I'd be on my shit, be on my. I'm spending my time in love like I should. No more struggling for more good. Yeah. I never thought I'd feel like. Feel like. Feel like this. Feel like. I never thought I'd feel like this. Feel like. Feel like this. Feel like. Feel like. I'm spending my time in love like I should. No more struggling for more good. Yeah. I never thought I'd feel like. I never thought I'd feel like this. I never thought I'd feel like this. Constellations, they remind me that this life cannot be lost forever. I watch my generation. It's so evident this world will soon be gone. Will soon be gone. Can we leave for tonight? Run away. Let's run away, run away. Can we get out of sight? Fly away. Let's run away, run constellations. They remind me that this life cannot be lost forever. I watch my generation. It's so evident this world will soon be gone.
Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? Nowhere to go, so far from home. Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? So I break these walls and hold my head up high, and I step my ground until the day I die. As the rain falls down, there's no more tears to cry, tears to cry. So I break these walls and hold my head up high. No, I'm not giving in. No, I'm not giving in.
I can't take it anymore. My mind's about to go to war. I need someone to save me from myself, to hear me cry when I call out for help. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Another day to lose control. There's a fire in my bones. My sight gets blurry, pushing back the tears. Should take a leap of faith and face my fear. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano.
believe it's so hard for me to see that I deserve this. Deserve to feel happy now. So please go easy. Please go easy, easy on me. Go easy on me. Go easy on me. Easy on me. Don't give me a hard time, just let me live my life in peace. My life in peace. Been broken a long time, don't remember the highlights of me. Highlights of me. Oh, please help me. Please go easy, easy on me. I can't believe it's so hard for me to see that I deserve this. Deserve to feel happy now. So please go easy. Please go easy. So hard to unlearn habits we got addicted to. I'm trying to change my life, but so much easier to say than do. Say than do. Oh, please help me. Please go easy. Please go easy. Oh, please help. Please go easy. Go easy on me. So go easy.
know I said just.
time
Welcome
is
back
ending.
everyone to the EPL World Series Southeast Asia edition.
10 seconds remaining.
Of course, this is the second best of three. What happened earlier on today was between Team Essence versus Team Ivory, and despite the fact that Team Essence tried their very best, Team Ivory managed to take that game, or rather that series, in a 2-0 fashion. I wonder what the outcome of this series is going to be, as Team Nemesis versus Yangon Galacticos are going to be going at it in a best of three. Already we're seeing quite a few bans coming out from their side, but interestingly, Team Nemesis have banned out that Slark, which is a bit surprising to me.
Patience while the Radiant's team choose.
Of course, the bans coming out from Yangon Galacticos aren't very surprising. The Ringmaster, a menace in the competitive scene, not really a hero that we see banned out as often as we see him picked, I will say that. But Beastmaster, definitely one of the most versatile heroes in terms of where you can send the hero now, and just might be a great idea to just ban that hero out. Silencer first pick. Now that is something that I have very rarely seen. I wonder if this is going to be some kind of an enigma play for Yangon Galacticos. They certainly want to pick a hero that can't get cancelled in between, or some kind of channeling ability. Normally that is the enigma, but you know, you have the Magnus open as well. One of the things that Silencer offers is the ability to dispel any counter initiation, right? Once you initiate, you have, and you use a global silence, you have that few seconds or 5 seconds of buffer time where the opposing team can't initiate or counter initiate the way that they want to, right? That's one of the key benefits that Silencer has that's less talked about in the competitive scene. But over on the other side, Team Nemesis, you do have the Nature's Prophet, a hero that can take down squishy support heroes like the Silencer. Now, because the Silencer is never going to be found in teamfights the way that you expect other heroes to be, he's probably going to be in that backline, or maybe not even present in a teamfight really, because you want to get off that global silence. You want a guaranteed way to use that ultimate, and that's where the Nature's Prophet comes in. So if you have vision over the Silencer, you can just teleport in and take out that Silencer before he's able to cast that global silence. So definitely multiple ways in which both of these teams can go at it. I wonder though who's going to be more successful at it. Of course, we will need to see more picks coming out before we can actually determine who has the better draft, or even in fact what both of these teams are going to be looking to make happen in this game. Ogre Magi. Now the thing is, Ogre Magi, you know, despite being an extremely stable support hero, in my opinion, the biggest value that Ogre Magi offers to heroes like the Nature's Prophet is going to be that Bloodlust coming in. The amount of attack speed
10
increase
seconds remaining.
from that Bloodlust is insane. And coupled up with the Nature's Prophet, who loves to go for items like the Mjolnir or Maelstrom early on, the attack speed buff coming in from the Bloodlust is going to mean that Team Nemesis are going to have a lot of physical damage output. And expecting that, Yangon Galacticos picking themselves up a Tidehunter and the Tuskar to follow. So a very aggressive lane, the Tuskar plus the Tidehunter over on that off lane. It's a situation where you have to be really careful, right? Because if you're going to be sending this Nature's Prophet over on that safe lane against a Tuskar and a Tidehunter, you're going to have a pretty rough time. The Snowball can carry the Tidehunter up close and personal, and then the Anchor Smash is going to deal a lot of physical damage. So that this could potentially be the key to Yangon Galacticos taking the game in, at least in their favor very early on in the laning phase, if they're able to get a few kills with this duo of the Tidehunter plus the Tuskar. Meanwhile, over on the other side, you have the Ogre Magi and Nature's Prophet. Now, I wonder if this is going to be a position 5 Ogre Magi, or if they're going to be investing in a hero that can save the Nature's Prophet on that safe lane and send this Ogre Magi towards that top side, towards that off lane as a position 4. Because ideally, Nature's Prophet needs, if this is a carry Nature's Prophet firstly, needs a hero that can save him from that Snowball and from the Tidehunter.
Radiant's team pick.
So, I mean, this is most definitely going to be an Ogre Magi on that position 5 support position, because you have a Morta, you've gone all in. So a position 4 Morta plus an Ogre Magi on that position 5. I really hope that,
10 seconds remaining.
they have their work cut out for them. Now the thing is, the silence drop down, the spirits that Morta can bring about, coupled up with the nature's prophet ultimate, the nature's wrath, or rather the wrath of nature, it can deal a significant amount of AoE damage in those team fights. The Team Nemesis are going to be going for the classical Mortar plus Centaur combination, and whatever carry Yangon Galacticos pick up for themselves is going to have a pretty rough time. So they're now in a position where they either have to invest in a ranged carry or a very high sustained carry like the Dragon Knight, because there's no other way about it. And I will say that this is it's a similar situation for both of these teams, right? Because you have the Centaur War Runner plus the Morta, very aggressive duo designed to take kills early on, and you had the same thing going on in Yangon Galacticos, where you have the Tuskar and Tine Hunter, very aggressive duo designed to take kills early on. Now, which team is able to do that is going to be the team that is better suited to transition towards that mid game. It's a question about who comes out ahead in this laning phase, because both of these teams are investing in good laners, in strong laners. As Yangon Galacticos, they reveal their mid laner, it is going to be that Storm Spirit, and have yet to reveal their carry. Meanwhile, for Team Nemesis though, you have your Centaur, and you're thinking about whether or not this Nature's Prophet is going to be on that mid lane, or whether or not he's going to be on that carry position. Now the thing is, even on that mid lane, Storm Spirit does pretty well against the Nature's Prophet, just in part because you can't exactly get a kill on the Storm Spirit if you're the Nature's Prophet. The Sprout doesn't do enough damage, and as soon as the Storm Spirit comes online with his level 6, he can take the Nature's Prophet down, sometimes solo, but if you're struggling to take the NP down solo, then you can always rotate in your Tuskar, and that will be a guaranteed kill, assuming that Team Nemesis are not going to be reacting very quickly with that Morta or that Ogre Magi. So both of these teams very dependent on the way they play their laning phase. It's one of those rare games, I will say, that in which the win conditions actually comes down to the laning phase, because normally you talk about the mid game, then you talk about the late game, but over here it's like if the Storm Spirit gets a good laning phase and the Tuskar is able to rotate and make kills happen for his team, then Yangon Galacticos, they're going to be very much ahead. Meanwhile, it's the exact same win condition for Team Nemesis. If their Centaur plus Mortal lane pops off and their Nature's Prophet is able to get the farm that he needs, then Team Nemesis are going to be significantly ahead in the mid game. So very interesting dynamic that is developing over here, and only time will tell which dynamic is going to prevail as Yangon Galacticos look towards their last ban, and they're actually predicting that this Nature's Prophet is going to be going on that carry role. As they're banning out the mid lane, or they banned out the Puck, perhaps against the Storm Spirit, right? You don't want a hero like the Puck, one of the best heroes against the Storm Spirit. But remember, you still have an OD in the pool, and I remember we saw it in PJ Wallachia Season 4 in the later parts of those playoffs, what the OD could actually do. As Yangon Galacticos, they're going to go for a Phantom Assassin. The coup de grace could potentially take out the Nature's Prophet very easily, in my opinion. And coupled up with the Tuskar, whichever third ability he goes for, whether it's the Drinking Buddies or it's the other one, you can pair it up very nicely with the Phantom Assassin. Not to mention, the Storm Spirit, once he gets his shard, is going to be giving the Phantom Assassin those extra 3 overload procs, which can do a lot. And not to mention, I think the Stifling Dagger, correct me if I'm wrong, the Stifling Dagger actually procs the overload as well. So neat little mechanisms coming out for Yangon Galacticos. How will Team Nemesis respond? Will they be going for a Silver Edge builder? Is the question. Oh, they're going to go for the Dragon Knight. Now, this is a bit of a double-edged sword because Phantom Assassin does have that break mechanism, but it doesn't work as linearly as one would expect when it's a Phantom Assassin versus a DK, because sure, you have that break mechanism coming in from the PA, but the Dragon Knight still does do pretty well. Keep in mind, you have about 3,000, 4,000 HP in that mid to late game, which is significant when faced up against a hero like the Phantom Assassin. You have insane amounts of armor, more than 15 or 20 armor on that DK later on, so KSH will have his work cut out for him on this Phantom Assassin. Meanwhile, you also have Silver Edge builders for this Tide Hunter over on Team Nemesis. You have Akashi on the Nature's Prophet, and you have Mac on that Dragon Knight, who can pick up Silver Edge, who can pick up the Silver Edge for themselves. But overall, you know, the win conditions, they're much the same for both of these sides. It's this laning phase for both of these teams. Whether or not the Tuskar and the Tide Hunter are going to have a good enough time and get kills ahead in the early game so that they can transition into the mid game, or if that's going to happen for the other side, for the Centaur Warrunner being played by Raven and Jing on that Morta, whether they can make something happen, or it might not even come from the respective offlanes. It might even be from that mid lane where you have Storm Spirit playing against a Dragon Knight, and sure, Storm Spirit can't get many kills, but the potential to rotate into a lane which is already built up to be aggressive is pretty high. So Storm Spirit, once he gets his level 6, once you get some power runes up and running, once you get your first item, you have all of these moments where you can rotate.
No more games. Death. I do.
Storm again? I wonder if there's a storm. As both of these teams are looking to bring the storm to the other side. Meanwhile, we can talk a bit about the lanes themselves, right? Storm Spirit versus a Dragon Knight, again, very straightforward. I'm not going to spend too much time on that mid lane in particular. You should not be losing your life if you're the Storm Spirit or the Dragon Knight, right? You can farm very easily for both of these sides. The Dragon Fire, the Breath of Fire, is significant in terms of damage reduction, but not really significant because you can just throw the static remnants out and get some lost hits up for yourself. It's the other lanes that I'm more worried about. It's the fact that you have to try and stay alive over on both of these safe lanes, right? Over on the off lane for Team Genesis, or Team Nemesis rather, sorry, it's going to be that Centaur Warrunner plus that Morta going on that top side against what I assume is going to be the Phantom Assassin and the Silencer. And if you're the Phantom Assassin and the Silencer, you do have some fight back. You do have the ability to launch out those stifling daggers and the curses coming in from that Silencer, but is it going to be enough is the big question. I do think that Team Genesis will have the higher firepower over on that off lane, and meanwhile over on that bot side you have much of the same thing. You have the Tuskar coupled up with that Tide Hunter, and it's a lane where the Nature's Prophet and the Ogre Magi have to be super careful in. If you find a snowball on your Nature's Prophet, then that is nearly going to be a guaranteed kill or a guaranteed death. Of course, Yangon Galacticos, they are smoked up, wanting towards making an initiation. They're trying to go for this wraparound, but I'm not too sure who they're going to find. Of course, Team Genesis are incredibly squishy. Level 1, Akashi. They see the Sprout. Smoke is wearing off. Oh, there's pinging Jing out, but he's just too far away. He'll be able to make it out to safety. Skill has not leveled up or anything quite just yet, the snowball or the shards.
Let's go.
over on that mid lane. Mac is just going to be pushed out, but he's probably just going to make his way back towards that mid lane. So guys, we have spoken about the lanes in particular. As far as drafts go, I would say it's pretty much 50-50, to be honest. It really depends on how your lanes go for both of these sides. Bot side and in fact the top side is where the action is going to be. I'm going to try my very best to actually keep track of both of these lanes, because I have a feeling that first blood can occur at any time. Both of these teams are going to be looking towards making an initiation the first chance that they get. Of course, that chance may happen later on, as you do need some levels up to be contesting in these lanes.
To hell with you.
Stay down.
Storm Spirit and Dragon Knight, meanwhile, able to accrue similar amounts of last hits. No surprises there. Top side, Jing taking a lot of damage, will eat a stifling dagger too, and that's going to be first blood going the way of Zoran on that silencer. Nicely done. As time is revealing that despite of the fact that you do have an incredibly aggressive lane, Morta has to be incredibly careful because you can end up losing your life. The stifling dagger is no joke in that laning phase. It has quite a bit of damage coming out, and I mean, already having given one kill, you don't want to give too much away. Bot side, they do see the Ogre Magi, and I wonder, okay, it's just the creeps were skipped nicely by the Nature's Prophet and Ogre Magi, so Nature's Prophet should be feeling safe enough for now. Meanwhile, Storm Spirit, unable to maintain control of the lane, is going to be feeding a lot of creep waves to Mag. But I mean, on the mid lane, this actually helps the Storm Spirit, because underneath the tower it is a bit more difficult to take last hits, but it's a double-edged sword because it's a lot more difficult to actually deny creeps when they're pushed in towards the other side's tower as well.
This is ours.
So far so good for both of these sides. Top side, the pings are coming out, but both of these sides being incredibly hesitant towards making any kind of move. Silencer though, Zoran, he sees his prey, and it's not Raven. It's in fact, it's going to be Jing, and Yangon Galacticos are going to try their very best to try and take this Morta down time and time again, but are they going to be successful? There's a rotation, there's a TP incoming in from that Huskar. Ravens just used his Hoofstorm, and that means that Yangon Galacticos are free to move in on towards that Morta that's charged to block Jing's escape, and they're going to be able to take him out. Meanwhile, Centaur used the TP to try and to make his way back towards that tower. Not sure that was the ideal use of that TP, but at least he was able to make it out with his life. The same can't be said for this Morta. Centaur, Raven. Skill is still here though. And he was like a statue honestly over there, but this tier 1 tower towards his bot lane is taking quite a lot of damage to Akashi. It's down to around 40% HP just 5 minutes in. Tidehunter, Wukong or rather Sun Wukong, was not able to defend his tower in time. Or rather, I mean, because the Tuskar rotated away, there's not a lot you can do as this Tidehunter, right? Ideally, you'd want to just anchor smash your way through those creeps, just clear them up so that the tower can't take this much damage, but still, mid lane, Dragon Tail on towards the Storm Spirit, the Akashi coming in with that teleportation as well, but Storm has that zap away, but unfortunate for Zoran though. It looks like he might have been in some trouble, but Mac just simply did not have enough HP. But has popped his dragon form, and it's a pretty long duration, so Mac won't be, or rather Young won't be able to come back into this lane as easily as he would expect. 6-minute rune coming about. It is going to be on that bot side, and it looks like it's going to be an illusion rune. Of course, remember, the corrosive haze, or rather the Worm's Wrath from the Dragon Knight, applies on his illusions as well, so it's a nice debuff. It's one of the better runes for Dragon Knight in particular.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Of course, the dragon form is wearing off. You do have an Ogre Magi positioned here from Genesis. Bot lane though, it's actually Akashi who's been gone on by 3 heroes. The carry for Team Nemesis going to take a fall here as KSH rotated with that Phantom Assassin, and it seems like Yangon Galacticos, they're going to be able to take that tier 1 tower bot side before Genesis is able to take the bot lane's tower for themselves. That's very impressive considering the fact that Tuskar was not here in this lane for so long, but despite of that fact, Tidehunter was able to make something happen, and now with Akashi respawning and teleporting inside of this lane, Sun Wukong losing out on a lot of HP, does have 2-1 charges, but it's simply not going to be enough. Can he find a deny here? But in fact, he's not going for it. He's actually going for a potential TP out as Akashi. He just left him here. And over on that top side, they're not leaving the Centaur as Mac is going to go in for that counter initiation on towards KSH, who manages to find that blink out over on that Tuskar. Raven, incredibly low, will get salved up, but it's half the duration because it is used by your ally, so you won't have as much sustain as you would ideally want. No ring of health available for that Centaur either, so he's going to struggle. Mac, of course, there's not, you know, when you take a look at the amount of lockdown, there's not a lot of sure shot lockdown you have for that Storm Spirit. The Dragon Tail, it's a projectile. The Ogre Magi Fire Blast has a very slow cast animation, so Young, if he's quick enough on his zaps, he can essentially dodge a lot of that lockdown, at least for the earlier parts of the game before you have your BKB online.
Dire are scanning.
Oh, Young, even though you have that regeneration rune, you won't be able to find Akashi, but at least, you know, you can just continue to farm up on this Storm Spirit. Meanwhile, you have the rest of Yangon Galacticos piling up over here, leaving KSH to farm on that top side, but is Genesis really, I mean, to be fair, Genesis is more than happy at playing this drawn out game because they want the game to be static. Their entire lineup is designed around being able to farm up and come online later on. The Nature's Prophet needs farm, and so does the Dragon Knight, who's queued up his Blink Dagger, should be getting it at about 11 to 12 minutes. So once Mac has that Blink Dagger, that's when Nemesis are going to look to fight. Of course, Phantom Assassin is not going to have the earliest of Battle Furies, as KSH has the least amounts of last hits when you look at the cores in this game. Toe-to-toe with the Centaur War Runner, which isn't a great look for the Phantom Assassin. Now the thing is, it's up to Yangon Galacticos, it's up to the rest of the team to make space for that Phantom Assassin. Find the pickoffs with your Storm Spirit as soon as your ultimates come online for your Tuskar as well as your Silencer. Once you have those two spells, you can go for some early pickoffs.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Storm Spirit. Young needs to be a bit careful over on this mid lane, but it's over on that top side. The Centaur Warrunner Raven is trying to make an exit and will be able to live through this. Does have two Lotuses for good measure, as Mac is carrying a double damage rune, which is about to run out, unfortunately for him, but he does have that Blink Dagger, and it looks like they want to be going in on towards that Phantom Assassin, who just managed to back out. But can they find anything with this? The wave is coming, so they have to fall back for now. But I think they were spotted out. Yeah, the pings are coming. They were revealed over here and have to go back. Of course, I don't think that they saw Mac's Blink Dagger though, is the good thing. Over on that bot lane, Akashi continuing to farm up. In terms of net worth, it's Mac who's leading the net worth chart. He's sieging his top tier 2 tower, or rather top tier 1 tower. It's a tier 2 tower down towards bot that was taking a bit of damage, but has the Blink Dagger. The thing is, with the Blink Dagger, you have to make something happen. Yangon Galacticos, their Silencer, is inching forward. Does he really want to be here? Because there's no support and no follow-up. Top tier 1 tower will fall towards the way of Genesis. It's going to be the first tower that they manage to take down, and an immediate smoke afterwards. They want to be making their way towards the top side. Of course, Young will be able to clear that rune up, but the initiation from Mac and the instant global silence coming out from Yangon Galacticos, and Mac won't have a way out. He was pulled in by the vortex, and a Tide Hunter is here. The Ravage is available, but it won't be needed as the Dragon Knight from Genesis falls. The the perfect global silence coming out. I mean, it with a millisecond delay.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And Genesis not really having the perfect reveal of that Blink Dagger, but the thing is, the global silence is down right now, so you have to fight. You have to go for a pick-off, because once it comes online again, Yangon Galacticos can just repeat what they did last time around. Near the jungle, nice juicy stacks for Sun Wukong. He should be able to clear all of these up. Has the Vladimirs as well, so no trouble for him. And I believe they should clear those stacks as quickly as possible, because the Dragon Knight from the other side can do that. Genesis can potentially venture into the triangle themselves, but it seems like Dragon Knight is going to be going back towards that triangle. So far, Tuskar still trying to find openings for his team, but Yangon Galacticos, they're a bit lackluster as far as those openings go. Young has completed a full Kaya on his hero and really requires this Tuskar and in fact the Tide Hunter to make something happen. You have a Ravage, right? It's surprising that they're not playing around that Ravage, not playing around those big cooldowns that they do have.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Skill lay. Nice cleanup on that Watcher there, but now it seems like Yangon Galacticos, they might, because they were able to clear that Watcher up, they could potentially head on towards that triangle, place some aggressive vision, or even find a pick off, because you do have Akashi farming over here, and surely they see this. The pings are there, so they do see that someone farming. They don't know if it's the Nature's Prophet or not. Skelle charging forward, but was just too far away. You really need the Storm Spirit to zap forward and create that opening for you. Tower probably going to fall over here as Genesis are really not in any mood to fight.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Ogre Magi.
Radiant's
I
middle
wonder if this
tower
is going to be
is
one
under
of
attack.
those Midas games. I believe the most delayed Midas that I've seen from a position 5 Ogre Magi has been around the 35-36 minute mark. But Yangon Galacticos, they're going to make a move towards that Tormentor, take that down, and they have very good shards up. Whoever gets it. I mean, I think ideally it should go towards the Silencer because he does have the lowest amount of net worth. But the next shot to come out, either for the Tide Hunter for the Dead in the Water or the Tuskar, is going to be pretty massive. But so far, so good for Yangon Galacticos. This is the most... I mean, despite the fact that you have such an aggressive lineup, this is a game where it seems a bit, I would say... I'm not really seeing the aggressiveness come out. Meanwhile, it's actually towards that top side. There's the bit of aggression that Yangon Galacticos were looking for. Raven is going to fall, but the Blade Mail did so much damage to Young that he fell from the Nature's Wrath. And meanwhile, the counter initiation is going to take the life of the Tuskar as well. Genesis, not letting that kill go unpunished, were able to find the mid laner from Yangon Galacticos, and that's not the trade that you want to be making. You either want to take down the Nature's Prophet or you want to take down Mac on this Dragon Knight, because
Dire's top tower
those are the highest value targets. But if you don't play with your Ravage, then you're setting yourselves up for big trouble. As Mac, he's going to blink forward on towards the Phantom Assassin. There's no creep wave to blink to. The teleports are coming in, but he's rooted down and taken out. Zoran in so much trouble. The Silencer, the Lotus is going to buy time. And now the zap forward on towards Mac. And Ravage on towards 4. It will clean the Dragon Knight up as Akashi looks towards returning some firepower, but it's just not going to be enough. On towards Jing they go, who's activated his ultimate and will find the TP out. So far, it's just a 1-for-1. And that's how it'll stay. 3 and 6 right now, despite of so many spells being thrown around, despite the fact that that was such a heavy commitment behind the tier 2 tower. Still, Genesis and Yangon Galacticos weren't able to consolidate their position in that team fight.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Bot side, Nature's Prophet.
Dire's structures
Interestingly, this tower was about 40% HP at around the 6 to 7 minute mark, and Genesis, this is the last tower to fall for Yangon Galacticos. That is
bottom tower
incredibly ironic. Akashi has an entire Mjolnir and a Dragon Lance ready. Now, this is the problem for Yangon Galacticos. Genesis have a much faster pace of farming. Genesis can get their items online a lot quicker on this Nature's Prophet, on this Dragon Knight. That Yangon Galacticos, sure, you do have a Phantom Assassin that's continuing to farm, but against heroes that farm much faster, I'm not sure if this is a great strategy for Yangon Galacticos, as Genesis are going to go for yet another smoke to try and take KSH out. For Genesis, they really only have one target.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And I was correct. I kept saying Genesis, but it's actually Team Nemesis. I think the G over here, I can't see it as well, but Team Nemesis tried to go for a smoke, but were unable. Oh, in fact, actually, they might be able to now. But Who's beating who over here? As Yangon Galacticos, they are piling on towards this top side, but Mac is just going to TP out. Mid side, Sun Wukong in a bit of trouble. No Blink Dagger on Raven means that you don't have that sure shot initiation. Of course, you do have Mac. But the Dragon Knight is going to continue to farm. So far, so good for Nemesis. And Yangon Galacticos are really struggling to find some kind of opening. They might get one, as there is Mac who's farming over here, and 3 heroes over on that bot side who were seen from this observer ward over here. But it seems like because they saw those 3 heroes, they're actually going to make a play towards that Roche pit, and will be able to get Roshan nearly uncontested.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now I have to say this is incredibly surprising. 3 and 6 on the kill feed, and then you have Roshan falling as well. I'm not sure what I mean, I know what the Aegis is for, but if you're not taking any fights, what's the 5 minutes for? You know, I mean, no pun intended, but still. At least now with an Aegis, that's a lot of insurance or life insurance for this Phantom Assassin. As Yangon Galacticos, they're pinging Mac out. Will they be able to find him? The zap forward initiation with the blink out in the nick of time. Mac just too quick for Yangon Galacticos. Not giving an inch. I will say Nemesis are just continuing to farm up
Tower is under attack.
and not allowing Yangon Galacticos to get anything out of these team fights. We might even see 5 minutes without the Aegis expiring, without any kill to be had. Mid lane. This time around, Mac is going to eat a gush, but again, no real follow-up with Storm Spirit so far away.
Death doesn't rule this place. I do.
Of course, Genesis aren't stacked up over here, so if Yangon Galacticos decide to press the issue, as it seems they will with the smoke, of course you have Jing who's going to break the smoke entirely, but Skill's going to jump forward on towards that triangle and will find Jing,
His middle tower
who will
is under
lose his
attack.
life. But Young
Dire's top tower is under attack.
wasn't able to find the zap over there. Now does have that BKB. Oh, Dragon Tail on towards that Phantom Assassin with the Ravage! The counter initiate on towards Mac! He's falling incredibly low over here. The damage is just too much from Yangon Galacticos. The Dragon Knight to fall. Nemesis, they've lost their mid laner. So far, their Nature's Prophet hasn't shown up to fight. Very quick initiation, and their exit was just as soon. They're going to go back, not really pushing for objectives and consolidating their kill the way that I would have hoped they would.
A ghastly pace.
Phantom Assassin. He is becoming a bit of a beast. Jing, meanwhile, has found a Tuskar. Akashi is here, will be. But a snowball? Oh, wow. The blink out after the snowball just was too quick for Nemesis. 3 and 8 right now as Nemesis look towards engaging upon that top side tower. HP. Tiny is going to have 3,000, 4,000 HP by the time he is level 18. Yangon Galacticos, they're going to go for a Tide Hunter, going to investing a bit into the heavy wombo combo from the Ravage and the Ice Blast. I would have preferred seeing a Darkseer come out from Yangon Galacticos, just able to deal with the creeps from that Beastmaster, as well as a Vacuum does very well against melee heroes. But this is good too. For Yangon Galacticos, I mean, a Tide Hunter into an Ice Blast or a Ravage into an Ice Blast, it can certainly work out, even if the Vacuum plus Ice Blast would have been a much better combination.
Radiant's team pick.
Windranger being picked up by Yangon Galacticos, and this is going to be, it looks like it's going to be a position 4 Windranger plus that Tide Hunter over on that top side, or rather over on that bot lane, and it's going to be a support Ancient Apparition against the Beastmaster. I'm not too keen on that one. Ancient Apparition, if you're caught out by those boars, because you already have such slow movement speed on the AA, if you're caught out, then you're going to end up dying. You don't have a lot of spells to actually deal with the Beastmaster's creeps early on. So let's see what they'll be able to do. For Team Nemesis, what are they going to be going for? I mean, ideally a Silver Edge builder, but I don't think that's even needed right now. You do have so much damage coming out from that Tiny, from that Beastmaster as well. And they're actually going to invest in a Mirana. A position 4 Mirana most likely. But we haven't exactly... Okay, we do have the Beastmaster, so we do have the offlane hero for them coming online too.
5 seconds remaining.
But what are they going to follow this one up with? There's not a great setup for the Mirana's arrow, but I suppose you may not need a setup. It will be difficult to land an arrow on the Windranger, but anyone else with the slow movement speed, you can potentially land that arrow. But not to mention, it's not exactly the arrow that is going to be great this game. It's the Moonlight Shadow. Because you have such a great initiation from the Beastmaster plus the Tiny, the Roar followed up with that Avalanche Toss is going to decimate anyone that's got out. And not to mention the Starstorm, very decent AoE damage. More than 300 or 500 damage if you're a single target is going to be something that Nemesis can look forward to. But the big question is, how are they going to deal against this Tide Hunter? Because, I mean, you can catch a hero out and you can get that pick off. That's great, but it's not going to be enough to take down the Tide Hunter. And if you don't take out the Tide Hunter, then the counter initiation can always come in from Yangon Galacticos. And that's going to be the way back into the fight that YG are looking for. But for Team Nemesis, they're going to be going in for a Snapfire as a support. I believe I saw this yesterday in EPL as well. We saw Snapfire coming out.
5 seconds remaining.
And not really a hero that I cover, or even some of the other tournaments that I watch. Snapfire. It's been a while since I've seen the Snapfire, honestly. But yet again, it's the AoE combination. It's the Mortimer Kisses plus even the setup, right, from the cookie. It can do quite a lot of damage. It's certainly a lot of magical damage, and later on you have a lot of physical damage coming out from the Tiny and the Beastmaster. This lineup is looking to be deadly. And meanwhile, Yangon Galacticos, they're going to invest inside in a Kunkka, which is interesting because, I mean, the Ghost Ship certainly, you have that damage as well, the Tidebringer as well. Not to mention the X Mark, it can potentially stop the Mirana from leaping out. It can stop the Snapfire from saving anyone with that cookie, and it can stop Tiny from blinking out in certain situations, right? But outside of that, I'm not too sure about this Kunkka. The AoE coming in from Yangon Galacticos is quite deadly as well. You had the Ancient Apparition plus a Tidehunter early on with the Ravage plus Ice Blast. Now you also have a Ghost Ship planted inside of it as well, a Torrent plus Ghost Ship, and the Wind Ranger's Power Shot. So both of these teams, it's a situation where they've invested so much into that AoE combo, right? It's not the standard wombo combo that we're used to, but it's still synergistic between all of their heroes that they've picked up for themselves. So I wonder who is going to come out ahead with it, as Yangon Galacticos revealing their last pick. It is that late game carry Morphling, and for Team Nemesis, what are they going to be going for? You have a few options over here. Of course, the Slark was banned out. It was Nemesis's first ban, and they're going to go for a Doom. So it looks like it's going to be a Beastmaster on that carry position, or rather it's a Beastmaster mid and a Tiny on that carry position. And meanwhile you have Raven, who's going to be playing that position 3 Doom. For Yangon Galacticos, it's much of the same. Yes, no switch ups happening over there. Their lineup is pretty classical. It is going to be Young on that Kunkka versus Mac on that Beastmaster. Now, Kunkka versus Beastmaster, this is the thing. Kunkka's Tidebringer will actually deal quite a bit of damage on towards those boars for Beastmaster. So I wonder if Beastmaster is actually going to max out those wild axes early on, rather than skilling up his the bird or the beast, right? So for this mid lane, Young PH, Kunkka should be having a decent enough time. Mac, if you max out those wild axes, should be having a decent enough time as well. So no surprises to be had for either one of these players over on the mid lane. Of course, it's going to be on towards that safe lane for Team Nemesis. Akashi on that Tiny, couple up with probably Eris on the Mirana. Although I would prefer you send the Snapfire with the Tiny. I don't see Mirana being a great position 5 hero. I do think position 4 is where Mirana does shine, if the Mirana shines. It's a bit I'm not sold on the support Mirana, to be honest. But for Yangon Galacticos, you know, very straightforward win requirement, right? When you have a Morphling, there's really not much to be said. It's just farm up on that Morphling as much as you can, enable your Morphling as much as you can, and then in the mid to late game, your Morphling will carry the game for you. That is the recipe for success, and is going to be up to the Kunkka and the Tidehunter to make sure that happens. Of course, we're going to be heading straight into the game.
Here we go. Are you ready?
As Yangon Galacticos playing Dire for the second time.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
I love the friendly banter between both of these teams. Very lively. And I've done the Southeast Asian region a few times now, and I really like the friendly banter that comes out from this region. I'll be honest. Meanwhile, let's talk a bit about the other lanes, right? We spoke a bit about the Mirana and the Tiny on that safe lane, and again, I don't think best heroes on that support position to be trading out hits, because you have that wind run. You essentially won't take any damage, and you can't get hit by an arrow, right? You have max movement speed, so you can't exactly be you shouldn't be getting locked down on that bot lane. And the Tidehunter, of course, is going to be surviving, big thanks to his Kraken Shell and the amount of HP that he has. So for Yangon Galacticos, their offlane should be looking pretty decently. And even over on towards that top side, it's going to be Raven on that Doom plus the Snapfire. Certainly a very aggressive lane, but the only kill potential is Rishon. Zoran will need to be careful and not get caught out, because KSH should be able to waveform out of trouble, and I do believe that he should be saving his waveform and not be using it aggressively.
The battle begins.
Bounty rune. KSH is holding his ground for this, but unfortunately was not able to pick it up. Now thanks, because you are a Morphling, you can just regen all of your HP up. I say that, but he doesn't actually have any way to regen his HP. Perhaps a tango from Zoran will be able to give him some much needed life back.
That's a first blood.
Oh wow, I missed it. I missed the first blood, but I mean it's the first blood that I've missed today so far, so I'm hoping you guys can forgive me for that one. Wind Ranger able to clean the Mirana up, as Eris will come back into the lane, but again not much to be had for this Mirana. Meanwhile, Skill Lay should be having a time of his life over here. Early first blood means that he can bring some nice regeneration back to his lane. Mirana does have that Star Storm available, but actually Skilly needs to be oh no, the power shot is online. Will he be able to find the kill? No, this time around it'll be Eris who finds that one. I was looking towards the cooldowns, and unfortunately even though you have the kill shot, because at level 1 you have such low HP to begin with, your kill HP threshold is also low, right? So it's not a big difference in the kill HP threshold and your max HP early on. Going to go towards those last hits just to see how everyone is doing so far, and it seems like on that mid lane Kunkka isn't exactly having a great time. Mac is able to zone the Kunkka out. Certainly not something that I would expect, but I do think it'll change once you get more levels on that Tidebringer. Towards that top side, Zoran needs to be super careful. And on that bot side, Eris and Skill Lay going at it once more. Over on that top side, Zoran in trouble though. The Scorched Earth from that Doom should be enough to find the kill over here, as Raven will clean Zoran up. 2 and 1 right now. 3-minute rune or 3-minute Lotus approaching. Able to get that one. Skill Lay trying to find his opening inside of this tiny, but it just won't happen that way. Eris leaping forward, but instantly getting gushed up. Does have another leap, but will eat a power shot. Of course, the power shot is not level 3, level 2 quite just yet, so it's not going to deal that much damage. Once the skills up, it's going to deal a whole lot of damage, and Mirana can't leap forward the way that you would want. Of course, one of the less talked about aspects of the Mirana is that early on, Lotuses do so much more for you because you get additional healing and regeneration because of the innate from the Mirana. 50% more effective, and that is quite a lot, because one gives 125, so you get around 200 HP from just eating one Lotus. So towards the early game, a team should prioritize picking up as many Lotuses as they can, and even later on in the game, just take as many Lotuses as you can if you have a Mirana. Mid lane Mac, he's as sure as dead right now. Power shot to finish him off. Very nicely executed by Young over there, just finding the X mark. Mac wanted to make his way towards the rune over there, but just wasn't able to make it happen the way that he wanted to. towards that top lane. This Doom is going to be a menace later on, because Doom is one of the best spells to use against a Morphling, and also it creates this additional requirement that Morphling is going to be forced to get a Lincoln Sphere. But holding that thought, initiation on towards Zoran. Raven needs to be a bit careful over here. You do have that waveform, and it looks like the Ancient Apparition, even though he fell, will be traded out by KSH. Very nice kill to be found by that Morphling and the Courier. Perhaps though, KSH will chase even further forward on towards Jing. Waveform is back online, but it doesn't seem like he wants to be making that initiation skill lay towards that jungle. He does see Mac, and with the Ancient Apparition planting himself towards that mid lane as well, it seems like Yangon Galacticos, they want to deny as much of the space they can from Mac. They want to take this space away. And so far, Nemesis have yet to respond to this.
Your admiral is on board.
Skill lay though, power shot. Mac is slowed down. Of course, the ghost ship, it will land, and Mac has taken so much damage over here, but the supports are TPing in, and now a roar on towards Young Lei. The power shot, can Skill Lei find this? But unfortunately though, it won't connect. The good thing is they have forced Mac back to the fountain, but it's a pretty lackluster fight overall. I mean, if you're rotating 3 heroes, but just weren't able to find much.
Invisibility.
And now with the ghost ship down, of course the roar is down too. The cookie throwing Mac forward on towards Young Page. The power shot not going to land here either, and with the Morphling TPing in, it seems like they want to find some kill over here. Mac though had that Lotus and will be able to make it out to safety. KSH with that TP is going to be very expensive, because for everything that just transpired, the only takeaway is the Morphling left his lane to come and try and get a kill. Meanwhile, the Tiny stayed in his lane to continue and farm.
I'm afraid Radiant's middle tower is under siege.
3-3 right now. It is a bit of a contrast to the previous game, at least. I'm glad, because in this game number 2, both of these teams really want some blood. They want these kills. Mid lane, ghost ship on towards Ching. Tried to find the cookie out, but instead he just ate a boat to his face. Not really the best of references, but top side, Zoran will just face a swipe and he'll get taken down. Really needs to be careful. I mean, it's this Ancient Apparition that's overstaying his welcome over on this top lane. I mean, you have a Morphling that's abandoned the lane, and sure, the idea is that with this Ancient Apparition you should be able to stay in the lane and just try and soak up XP to the level 7 mark, but everyone is so far away. Their ultimates from Yangon Galacticos, right? Even from the other side, but it's Yangon Galacticos who actually rely on that Ice Blast. Imagine the Ice Blast coupled up with the ghost ship coming in from Young PH. That should be a sure shot kill that they can find, but it's still quite a few ways away from that position. Yangon Galacticos making their way forward. They will see Jing, who will get X marked and frozen down. Will probably fall very early on, but the thing is, Yangon Galacticos, surely they want something else. They want more from this, but they won't be able to find it, as the rest of Nemesis are just tucked away here. Raven, he has the Doom. He's staying over here, but who's going to be the ideal target? Because Young PH, he has 1600 HP, so he's not the target that you want to be taking down or want to be initiating upon, because you still have the tier 1 tower alive, so the counter initiation from those TPs are always going to be a danger for you. Doom making his move forward. You do have the Mirana as well. Torrent It's going to land on towards Raven. Will eat the Tidebringer as well, but it's not going to be enough. I think this is just poking and prodding. I think this is just a show of force from both of these sides, trying to puff up their chests and push the other laners back. But it doesn't seem like it's going to deter many of these heroes up. 10-minute mark approaching. Mac will pick himself an entire double damage rune. What are they going to be able to do with this is the big question. Surely some of these teams, now this is the first time between both of these teams in both of these games that a single tower has not been fallen yet. Both sides were so eager to take down towers very early on, and this time around they're taking their sweet time with it. Tiny continuing to farm very close to that Echo Saber. Meanwhile, towards our mid lane, KSH has used his waveform over here, but unfortunately he's farming for his pipe, which is probably the right play because of the amount of magical damage you are faced up against. Both teams yet again choosing to play static. Of course, Ancient Apparition Zoran is still not level... Oh, right. He just turned level 6. So he does have that Ice Blast. So now, Yangon Galacticos, they can potentially go for some more fights. All it really takes is the Ghost Ship plus the Ice Blast to take the hero down. And that's something that they should be looking for. Perhaps take the Tiny down. There has been no attempt made on that Tiny so far. He's continuing to free farm, and he's sitting at second in terms of net worth. He'll quickly overtake the Kunkka. I mean, in fact, he just overtook the Kunkka, right? And it will snowball because Tiny is probably looking towards getting his shard online, and once he gets that shard, his farming speed should snowball out of control. And that's what Yangon Galacticos are looking for. But the Moonlight Shadow to actually buy Akashi some time and perhaps even counter-initiate upon Yangon Galacticos. Of course, no route available for YG.
This won't be pretty. They've reached Dire's top tower.
Topside tower. This might be the first tower to fall. 12-13 minutes in. It's surely delayed, but yeah, Tiny is going to be able to take this down very quickly. I do not think that there's going to be any counter initiation. The thing is, this bot side tower is too heavy for Yangon Galacticos to be going for any kind of exchange, so they might just end up losing an objective for nothing. Of course, they're going to try their very best to try and dish out some damage. The thing is, Nemesis went through the gate, so they can come in with those TPs like Eris has planted in over here. And the Beastmaster is coming in. Mac from the side over there will make his way towards Sun Wukong, and the Mortimer kisses to get thrown out as well. The roar to be used, but instantly getting dispelled, and the doom for good measure. That's anger that I'm sensing. No way were all of those spells just designed to take the Tide Hunter down. They want to send a message to Yangon Galacticos.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Bot lane, Eris planting himself for that Shrine of Wisdom. Will he be able to make it out? And in fact, if just an inch away to walk away, or rather not walk away, but he would have been able to take to his grave the Shrine of Wisdom. But nicely played by Zoran, and a TP in from that Kunkka as well, of course. Windranger, it seems like a counterplay from Yangon Galacticos. They want the Shrine of Wisdom, and in fact, they'll actually be successful at it, thanks to the Windrun coming in handy. Mid lane, Sun Wukong will be able to take that mid-side tower. First tower to fall for first tower to be taken by Yangon Galacticos, and a second tower towards that bot lane to be taken in quick succession. And this means that Yangon Galacticos are actually officially ahead in terms of objectives. This has opened up the map over on that jungle, and they can potentially they have so much room to play with, move around in.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Bot side. 1,000 gold. Yangon Galacticos, they thought they were cheeky with that smart play using the X mark, but really their backline was so vulnerable to the incoming assault that now Nemesis, they're going to go forward. Of course, you do have buyback on your Morphling. You don't have buyback on your Kunkka though. Raven going to blink forward, a Doom on towards an Ancient Apparition. You do have your allies though, so the Ancient Apparition should be safe. Akashi going to go towards that bot lane of Rags. This is a less cheeky play. Nemesis are saying, you know, we don't need the X mark. We can just straight up walk down the mid lane of Rags and take the game for ourselves. Of course, the question to use the buyback or not is going to be a very risky one. If you buy back and you die on that Morphling, the game is sure to be over. But you might not be left with a choice over here. Tide Hunter, blink forward, the Morphling does buy back, and now this is, for Nemesis, this is... They have to escape, they have to get out of this. We'll actually end up making it out without losing a single hero. I really thought that Yangon Galacticos would have gone for at least trying to take one or two stragglers out, but they let everyone get by.
Every coin helps.
Interestingly, for Yangon Galacticos, they're thinking Roshan towards that top side, but they know it hasn't spawned. Oh, this is massive. This is massive. Nemesis thought that the Roshan would go towards that bot lane because there was only 20 seconds left, but Yangon Galacticos made it in time for the Roshan to respawn, and a desperate Nemesis is trying to make their way towards the Roshwit, but it just won't happen in time. The Mortimer Kisses though, they're doing so much damage right now on towards KSS, who's stuck inside of the pit. Raven will blink inside, but he won't find anything. They are on the chase though, they're on the prowl. Raven, can he find anything? His refresher is going to come online. He has the BKB up as well. He made his way on towards Skill Lay, but unfortunately the Glimmer Cape, it bought him some amount of time, and now the will get doomed up and face the Roar as well. Wind Ranger to fall, has the buyback, so at the very least he should be able to come into the fight with this. Mac full hex up ready by him, and he has a refresher as well in about 15 seconds. Double hex, double roar, double Shivas, double BKB. It's double everything on the menu for Beastmaster.
It looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower.
51 minutes now. The longest game of today so far.
I'll endure whatever they throw at me.
Full Aegis on that Morphling, but you know, it's a situation where if the rest of your heroes fall, then the Aegis isn't going to help you very much. I mean, right now you're forced to use your slot for the Aegis, and that means you've put your Lincoln Sphere in the backpack, meaning you can get hexed up anytime if you're not careful. Pings coming out all around. We might see 60-minute items coming about. Both of these sides really only need one lane of Rags, but we've come to a point where Mega Creeps don't even matter. Nemesis are putting so much emphasis, and so are Yangon Galacticos, right? Both of these teams putting so much emphasis on Mega Creeps, not really, it's not really going to be significant. I mean, Tiny can clear even the Mega Creeps up with just one swipe. But it seems like Akashi wants to be fighting. He's under the guise of that Moonlight Shadow. Magdo on that backline was able to catch that Ancient Apparition, and now in goes Raven with a Doom on towards that Morphling. He's just nowhere to go. Will end up losing his first life, and a Doom on the Kunkka. Raven just outplayed Yangon Galacticos. 4 heroes down now. KSH nowhere to go, stuck between 4, all of Nemesis, a full team wipe, no buyback available for the Morphling, and forced to throw in the towel. GG is called. Yangon Galacticos lose the best of 3 in a 2-0 fashion against Team Nemesis. From what was supposed to be their victory, they had this one in the bag in the early to mid game. They had everything going for them, but unfortunately were not able to make it work. But guys, that was just the second series of the day. We do have 2 more series coming up. We have 1 more series coming up rather, sorry, my bad. And that's going to be between Execration and Interactive Philippines at about, I believe, 5 p.m. Singaporean time. So stay tuned for that one. Don't go anywhere, and we will be right back.